All the high temperatures we're seeing, it sure doesn't feel like September right now.
Yeah, when you add allergies to the mix, it makes you really hope that fall weather comes sooner rather than later.
News Channel 7's Brianna Weaver talked with an ear, nose, and throat specialist and chief meteorologist Mark Holly about the high pollen count right now. Bree, what'd you learn?
Jeff and Cassandra, if you're feeling the sniffles, itchy eyes, and maybe a cough, you might be having some seasonal fall allergies, specifically from ragweed and mold. When you think of allergy season, you might think of springtime, but it's actually year-round. It's all dependent on where you live, when something blooms, and how long it sticks around in the air.
If somebody lives in a place where they're not going to get exposed to tree pollen, as an example, like if you live in the desert, you don't have to worry about that. But if you move from the desert to Wisconsin, you're going to get a nose full of that.
To combat these allergies, the Advent CEO, whose company is an ear, nose, throat center, says it's best to take medicine or wear a mask.
You could use, there are many medications that are over the counter these days. So like a nasal steroid spray, like Flonase or Nasonex is something that you could use regularly that basically helps the body stop reacting to that stuff.
News Channel 7 has a pollen counter on top of the roof, sponsored by Advent. This counter is the only one in central Wisconsin and provides real-time data, more specifically in the WSAW area.
Seasonal pollen right now, the highest is ragweed. Typically that can form depending on where you are in early August, but the peak of it typically is mid-September.
Ragweed is a seasonal plant that grows across north central Wisconsin. The pollen in ragweed stays around until a hard freeze comes into play.
Now that would be 26 degrees or colder for about 3-4 hours. We haven't had that yet across north central Wisconsin. And looking at our typical first freeze and or frost dates, typically across the Northwoods, mid-September.
As for WSAW, he says it's usually late September to early October, while Stevens Point and lower see frost and freezing in early to mid-October.
Real key point is we need that hard freeze. So allergy sufferers are probably looking for that hard freeze, where agriculturalists don't really want that hard freeze quite yet.
Mark says that in the next 6 to 10 days, there is no sign of frost or freeze, so those seasonal allergies may be around for a bit. Live in WSAW, Brianna Weaver, News Channel 7.